So today I'm going to have an interview with my friend Kiara for my female solo travelers channel. So she is in Turkey. We met in Turkey while we both lived there. So I thought she might be a really good person to interview. So that's my thing for today. And I hope she's got some great insight. I'm sure she's got some great insights, tips, tricks, and hacks for female travelers. And today we're going to speak about solo female traveling, and this is my friend Chiara. We have met in Istanbul. We both studied at the same university 2 years ago, and she is still living in Istanbul, so she's got lots of stuff to talk about her experiences, and she has some tips and tricks for solo female travelers. So let's dive into it. Boom!
Boom, baby.
Boom. So, Kiara, what's happening in Istanbul? Tell us, what are you doing there?
Right now, thanks God, nothing too much special is happening. Really, thanks God, because otherwise I couldn't be still here. So right now I'm an Italian teacher, and I'm teaching in a school in Mecidiyeköy.
Nice. Okay, cool.
Turkish students who wants to move to Italy. And actually it's quite cool. I didn't expect, it was not at all what I wanted to do in my life. Actually, teaching was the last thing I would ever wanted to do, yes. But it's quite fulfilling. I really like it. I just in a couple of lessons I'm realizing how much I'm able to give and how much they're able to give me back. So it's really a double way relations.
Nice.
Yes.
Wow. Okay, so you've been living in Istanbul now for 4 years in total, right? No, sorry. How long have you been living there now?
3 years.
3 years.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, we should mention, yeah. I mean, it's quite common sense. Chiara is Italian. So that's why she's teaching Italiano. And
Yes, but I have no references. It was just really a life event. Like, I was supposed to move to England finally. I found my PhD. I was so ready to move on my field, and I was so ready to go for my things. And then as life comes and screw up your plans, so they're supposed to be advisor for my PhD, got extremely sick, and it did never come back to teach again, actually. So I learned that just 2 days before leaving Istanbul, and I actually didn't know what to do back then because it was just 2 days. I learned that the person I should have spent the next 3 years developing my studies was sick. So I decided not to go, and I lost this opportunity, thinking that without him it wouldn't that be the right thing to do. So I had to reorganize my life in less than 1 month. This is what I found. I become an Italian teacher, una maestra di italiano. And actually, right now, it's quite fulfilling. It's not what I want to do on the long run, but who knows?
it pays the bills.
It pays the bills. It makes me go to sleep with a big smile on my face when I think about my students that are really putting so much efforts and they're really achieving. And I really feel powerful when I actually realize that these people were not even able to make one single sentence in Italian, and 3-4 weeks later they're having a voice in Italian. So I really feel I'm giving them a voice, a way to speak, a way to talk.
That's amazing. That's really cool. Like, I mean, what do you want more than going to bed happy and have a job you're happy in, right? Like, I don't know. Could you maybe move the laptop a little bit back because your head is up here so we can see your face fully? Yeah, that's better. Perfect. Yeah, cool. Nice. So
can you maybe talk a little bit about your experience as a solo female traveler or expat in Istanbul? How is the life? If you can give us a little bit of an insight there, and maybe some tips and tricks about how to, you know, how to survive Istanbul, if I may say it that way. I mean, I know how it is, but I would you like you to explain to the audience a bit about your experience and what you would suggest if someone is interested in going there and doing stuff.
Okay, this is going to be. I hope the audience is sitting right now and have some time, because it's going to be a very long answer. It's been 3 years and I've been through a lot. So when I first arrived, I was just a little bit afraid of walking in the street as woman. I had to, of course, replan my way of dressing, not because I ever felt unsafe, but I felt the eyes of people on me. I really felt people staring. And that was the first thing I was worried about when I first arrived here as a woman, as a blondish woman who looks like European, who doesn't speak the language, and even if she speaks the language, as a strong foreigner accent. Second of all, even interacting with the other female, like local female woman, wasn't easy at all. I didn't find that special connection in the very first place. So I couldn't really be. If we are talking as on a woman point of view, on a female point of view, I couldn't really feel like the woman I used to be, either in Italy or in Spain, the place I lived before.
So what do you think is the issue from the women, the Turkish women? Why don't they want to make a connection with you? What do you think is that? Is that maybe because they grew up in the culture where they're not allowed to speak to other people, or do you think they're shy, or what do you think is it?
I don't even think they don't want to, but there's something that is missing. There's no common ground. Like when we talk about interpersonal relations, there's something that is literally missing. Like on a more practical side, I feel that their relationship with men are quite limited. Well, I always grew up with male friends and making very gross jokes with them. Burp competition. I don't know if that's something I can say to the audience.
Yes, okay, yeah, go for it. We want to know it all.
So yes, so I always felt quite free to be either a woman but also be myself where I grew up, and within the men I never felt harassed or observed because I have curves, because I have boobs, because I have something they don't have or something they want at the end of the day. But here I always felt this glass wall I could not go through, either with men, either with women. Like, there are some topics that I always felt I couldn't deal with, like sex, like personal life, like relationship with other men. I felt quite a limitation when I try to talk about male friendship with female friends. They're always like a bit suspicious. Like, do you have? Is he like just a friend, or you're planning to have something with him, or something like that? So I always had this kind of wall I couldn't go through. There might be some nice connection, good vibes, but at one point the relationship doesn't go through.
Okay.
There's no real connection.
Interesting.
Interesting. It's not like a deep connection, like what we had, me and you, in less time. If I can say that to the audience.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any experiences you are happy to share when it comes to awkward situations in Turkey or Istanbul or anywhere else, really? It doesn't have to be now that specific country, but any awkward situations you might be able to share regarding if you've been harassed or, you know, in worse situations, maybe?
This is quite a good question because just September, last September, I got attacked in the street. So I was planning to move to England, as I said before, and I was quite ready. And I left my apartment in Beşiktaş, and I was just staying at a friend's place. But this is staying in a not very, not I wouldn't say not very safe. It's not the fact that it's not safe. It's the fact is that it's been gentrified. So there's a part of the neighborhood that it's been restored and people with a better income are starting to move in. But the street next to it, which is very typical in Istanbul, the street next to it is lived by gypsy people or very poor people who are still making, like, killing the animal in the street on Friday. So of course the situation of urban sprawling, of gentrification, creates a bit of a gap. So if I'm a woman and I'm walking alone in the night in that neighborhood, I am obviously in danger. Plus, I look foreigners, so they realize that I might have something more valuable. So what happened to me, basically, I came back from a party, and I wanted to put down the trash. But without thinking, because when I was living in the other neighborhood, I always put the trash downstairs at any time, and nothing ever happened. It was a matter of 50 meters, and that's it. But that night, I decided to put the trash down. It was 2 or 3 in the morning. Just 3 seconds after I put the trash down, two guys, 2 teenagers most probably, those who sniff glue, came. One, I didn't even realize, I didn't even hear them coming. I just heard, "Bayan, bayan, woman, woman, woman." I turned because I heard their voice, and I didn't even give myself the time to realize what was happening. While one was holding my shoulders, like here, holding me tight, and the other one punched me in the face. I could, like, move because this guy was a teenager, was not that strong, was not that dangerous, anyways, like in strength. So he punched me. I managed to move my face, and it just hit the ear. So he tried again to punch me again, and again I moved, and then I tried to react, and I screamed very loud. But this is a very weird neighbor, so of course when it comes to people are screaming all the time here, so it's not actually a thing. And in the end, after a little bit of a fight and me pulling and they're pushing, pushing, holding, screaming, etc., they managed to push me down, pull me down in the floor, and they took my bag and they ran away. So I mean, it's not overall. It's not about being in Istanbul or not being in Istanbul. It's not about wherever you are. I heard people have been attacked in Zurich, but of course, if you are a woman, there's nothing you can do. You have to mind your back. You have to have your ears also on your shoulder, and you have always to be 300% attent and ready to react, and possibly avoid any kind of weird situation and scenario, regardless if you think you are strong, if you think you're brave, you think you're it's not about who you think you are, it's not about
Absolutely.
believing in yourself. It's really a matter of strength, a moment that you just relaxed and you just blow your self-defense. It might happen to anyone, it might happen everywhere, but the fact is that to go over that, it took me, I'm still like 2 months I couldn't go, I mean the first 2 months I couldn't go in the street because every person who was coming too close or was coming from my back, I just start crying and overreacting. Plus, some people in Istanbul don't really look nice, don't really look clean. So I mean, you got scared easily. And or even my friends were coming from my back and just hugging me. That was a huge stress. So yes, nothing happened. I'm happy. I'm fine. I'm still in Istanbul. I can walk the street where I've been attacked. I did it. I can walk there, but such a thing really remains.
I'm sorry you had to go through that, and thank you for sharing. Yeah.
Oh, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, I
Oh,
think.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You're absolutely right with it doesn't matter if it's in Istanbul, it can happen anywhere. Like, I've lived in many different places in the world, and it happened in many different places. It can happen in Germany, it can happen in London. People are wanting things from you all the time, no matter where the place is. And it's quite
Can you hear me? I can hear myself.
Me now?
Okay, yes.
Okay, but then I have to take out my microphone.
Okay,
Can
try
you?
again. Try.
Can you hear me?
Perfectly.
Awesome. So, what I was saying, let me just go back here. So yeah, you're absolutely right you said it can happen anywhere. It doesn't have to be in Istanbul. So it doesn't matter if you're in Bali, in Germany, in London, in anywhere. People want something from you in any country. There's good and bad people everywhere. So, I can see. Can you hear me?
Perfect.
Oh, okay.
Here and now.
I can see your point. So, do you know some self-defense moves? Like, would you now know how to better react or how to get out of a situation like that?
Not really. I mean, besides my friends trying to teach me some moves and trying to train me literally. I didn't subscribe to any course. I think I should. I'm just planning to move out of Istanbul, so I'm planning to do it, but not here. Also, there's another aspect, and it's about how much you are able to react to a dangerous situation. Because if we since we are talking about this, and I don't want to scare anyone in our audience, but 1 month ago, I actually, after that, I was sleeping in the same friend's house, and while sleeping, I found someone breaking into into the apartment.
Oh my God.
Yes, and it was very funny because it was the night of the snowstorm, so nobody could expect anyone to enter. I mean, people were really barely walking in the streets because that much of snow. But I found a guy, and that night another friend was also sleeping in the same apartment, and so I first thought it was this other friend was sleeping there, and I have to say that it took me like 30 good seconds to realize it was a fucking stranger in the fucking house walking around like is at home or something like this. So and then it took me another 30 seconds to react and think on what to do in that moment. If this guy was just there to steal, if the guy was there for other purpose. I was feeling, I mean, it was my pajama, my t-shirt, my sleeping t-shirt, so I was really feeling even naked.
That sounds so scary.
Yeah, exactly. If I should have wake up the person who was sleeping there that night, and how can I sleep them without making him realize that I'm awake? I mean, I'm calling them, because if he has a gun, if he has a knife, or if he has anything, or if he has very bad intention, it will take less time to him to react that he's awake and he knows what he's doing than to me to actually understand the situation. So, like, for the other time that it took you some time, I swear, when I was there, when that was happening, and when I still think about it, I'm seeing all this like it was a movie, because it happens so fast, it happens so unexpected, it happens in such a scary but even adrenalinic way that it for some seconds seems that you are not even in your body, that you are living a scene of a movie, literally. When I saw them, when I literally turned, I found the face and the hand of the guy very close to me, and I don't know how I react even to do like this. I don't know. I mean, how I had the self-conscious to do that. So to get back to the point, the most important part is being able to think very fast and to react very quickly and in the best possible way, because obviously I will never manage to be able to be stronger than a guy.
Absolutely.
That's nature.
Yeah.
But I suppose that these people, if they are acting like this, are stupid, and I suppose I'm smarter than them because I'm not doing
Absolutely,
that.
yeah. And in those situations, you just need to realize this is absolutely correct what you say. You will never be stronger than your attacker. Like, what you need to do in that moment is win time for yourself to escape, and then run away. Escape if you can. There's no way that you can like win against this person. Like, you're a female,
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Exactly.
You're putting me through an ocean of emotions. Like, wow. I know exactly how it is. It's really horrible, like, if to have a fear like that, you know.
I know, and I didn't expect it was that hard, because I think, I don't know if for you, but for me the emotion came actually later. Like my body at the beginning like denied, like my mind denied what happened. No, it wasn't you, and then boom, all of a sudden you you can't walk in the street. You don't realize why you can't walk in the street comfortably. You don't realize why everything is making you more scary. Everything is making you breathe faster, and you don't realize why you are always looking for emergency exit or easy way out. Or again, what doesn't kill you really makes us stronger.
Absolutely, yes. Absolutely, yes. So, I've got a few more questions for you regarding what would you suggest to other female travelers? Um, do you go traveling by yourself in other countries?
Of course, I just go by myself. I hate traveling with someone else.
Okay. No, that's okay. It's absolutely fine. And so you would recommend this to other females to go and travel by themselves, or?
Uh, it depends on the female. Well, first of all, learn how to pack, because that's the main thing. Learn to not pack too much. Learn to pack the, like jolly dress that you can wear nighttime or daytime. But most of all, that doesn't not too much sexy, let's say, because yes, we can be the one like, what if I show a piece of my boob or a piece of my ass? I mean, it's my ass and blah blah blah. But life out there is life. It's real life, and not everybody will be aware of the fact that it's my vagina and I do whatever I want with it. So that's it. So learn how to pack smartly, and try to get yourself an international network. So wherever you will go, you might have someone, even though you don't know them very well. It's always gonna come handy having someone, and even more funny.
That's a very good tip.
Yes, just use Facebook, use social media, keep in contact with as many person you met throughout your life. They will always, you will always find a way to meet them again, for sure. And we know that. And like last thing, I would like generally encourage women solo to travel, even in places they think it's not safe. I mean, I'm not suggesting war zones or something like this, but if we don't start to make the change happen, when? I mean, if we don't do for us, let's do for our daughters. I want them to be able to go around however, wherever, whatsoever
It's amazing. Yeah, good stuff. Absolutely. I agree 100%.
And it feels good anyways, traveling solo. So
Absolutely, yeah. What are the greatest lessons you've learned while traveling solo?
hard one. Oh, so many things actually. Well, it might sound cliche, but of course you learn how to find your own way. You learn, I mean, you will get lost sooner or later. regardless where you are. You can be in the most organized city or you can be in the middle of the jungle. You will get lost at some point. Then you have two choices. You can get mad, get desperate, think you are not able to find your way back. You can do that for 5 minutes, okay? But then you have to get back on your feet and either open a map, being able to speak with someone in the street, try to recall the street you did until there, try to find some way to orientate yourself. And eventually you will go where you wanted to go. So that feeling is like the best. When you arrive to the point you wanted to go, that's pure satisfaction.
Nice. How would you convince your friends and family? You know, sometimes they can be a little bit funny about, oh, you know, what? You're moving or you're traveling to the other side of the world or for a few months, years, weeks, we don't know, whatever. How would you convince them, hey, it's a great idea?
So, since we are talking about this, Mom, Dad, I need to tell you something. I want to move out from Istanbul. Yes, I know you're happy, but the next country might be Morocco. I love you.
Amazing. So, okay, so that's the way to do it. Send them a video and say like, hey, Mom, I'm off to Morocco.
Exactly. Hello, where are you, my dear? How is it going? It's amazing. I'm in Casablanca. Saying I don't know what.
Yeah, you know what? I actually, for myself, I found that I just don't tell anymore. Like I just go and then I will let them know wherever I am at some point because otherwise there will be endless discussions. And they try to convince you not to go and they make you aware of all the danger and whatnot and about all the things they've seen in TV and all these things. So I found out for myself, I just, you know, I'll be here for a week or two, meaning home, and then I'll be off again. Oh, where are you going? Oh, maybe here and there, I'm not sure yet, whatever. And then I'll change the countries, this and that. But I don't really tell the exact plan anymore because it's just, you know, at the beginning, it was just really exhausting. At some point, my parents got used to it and they're now like, you know, after 6-7 years of traveling now, they're okay with it because they just accepted it finally. Okay, she's like a nomad and that's just the way what's happening. But still, every now and then these questions about, yeah, you're not planning on coming back and when are you going to go and get a proper job and all these things. So, yeah.
When are you going to become a real person? We are also. Yeah, true. It's same for me. I just was talking with my mom. It's been 6 years that I'm not in my hometown, in between studying and Erasmus and traveling and other experiences. And I think I really felt her crying on the phone, over the phone. But she knows I'm happy, so that kind of pay her off. And I try to send her a lot of selfies and a lot of nice picture. I know, and also for me, I'm Italian, so the economical and political situation is not as good as for other Europeans. So we don't really find jobs, or the situation is really stuck. So even most of my environment, everybody is really leaving. Most of my friends are most of them are in UK, but I've Italian friends from my my high school, in literally in everywhere, from Australia to Spain to US to Russia.
Okay. How do you keep the connections? Do you keep the connections or does it just fade away after a while because you meet new people and you evolve on a different level maybe than your friends from high school? Or do you have certain people where it never changes and you always connect even after a few years, you haven't seen each other and then you see each other and then you feel like, oh, nothing has changed, or you feel like, oh, wow, I was once like them, or how do you feel about this and how do you maintain relationships?
Well, you know what? I feel like there's a kind of a new etiquette for our generation, like a new friendship etiquette. We all know without saying that we are far away, but we are somehow in the same scenario, even though we are not together in the same place. So there's some sort of invisible connection that whenever you pop up in their life again or they pop up in your life again, like nothing ever changed. Like the relationship, if it was good, of course, but that even if you live in the same city. So if they pop up in your life or you pop up in their life, just everything, it's like you left it. It's you just look a little bit elder, maybe a little bit fatter, a little bit, I don't know.
Okay, cool. And how do you deal with loneliness during those times? You know, sometimes I feel like, oh, I wish I could go for a cup of coffee with you, for example, because we had such a great connection, but it's just impossible now because you are not my neighbor anymore, or something like that. So how do you deal with loneliness?
How do I deal with the loneliness? I guess I don't deal with loneliness yet. I guess if I feel lonely, I just, well, also maybe it's because, okay, delete this. I live in Istanbul, so I don't remember what the meaning of loneliness anymore. Loneliness is almost, I take loneliness as a moment of pleasure for staying with myself and just do things that please me without being bothered. So I guess loneliness is not a, it doesn't have a bad meaning for me, and it's a good thing, like staying with myself.
Nice, yeah, you got it, girl. Really nice. Now this is really cool, you know, if people can, you know, enjoy it, like that's the most amazing thing on the planet, literally. Like it's so nice to have lonely time. Yeah. Cool.
Well, I don't want to. I'm not planning to do this for the rest of my life, or I have. I feel like 100% a woman, so I hope one day I will have. It's not that this means being a woman, but I know I want to have kids in 10 years from now. But for now, I just hope people will be a little bit more open-minded for traveling with animals, and I would be super happy. That would be.
Oh, because
Like,
you have this dog, right?
now I don't have it anymore because I was planning to move to England, and in England the laws are very crazy about animals and animals bringing animals to Turkey. So I brought to my family, and now they are not letting her go anywhere
Oh,
because they
okay.
felt in love with her. And
Oh, okay. But she's in good hands,
yes,
so that's good.
yes.
Let me just check my question list.
How do no, not.
Um, how do you keep your money and valuables safe?
What do you mean?
Where do you put your money and your valuables, like your phone and stuff like that, when you travel?
You're asking me after I told you that I've been stolen.
I mean, well, you were at home, you were bringing down the rubbish, so you know that's a bit different, maybe. I guess I don't know. I
Uh,
act a little bit different than when I'm home rather than when I travel. I put my stuff differently.
yes, yes. And so, well, of course, we are women. So, where do you put the money? Where do you put the really valuable things? We all know. We all put in the bra. I think maybe just me, and yeah, maybe it's just me because the people normally have a very weird reaction when I take off the money to pay from my bra. But okay, when I travel, I do put all my important belongings into my bra: credit card, money, possible phone. Now I have a very huge phone, but before than that, I used to put it in my bra. And all the rest in any backpack or bag I can carry. But I try to travel with less valuable things as possible. I think we all try to travel with things like earrings or rings that maybe our family gave us, so they were important, so we wanted to bring us for protecting us through the travel. But it ended up that we survived the travel, we enjoyed the travel, but we lost the valuable item. So yes, valuable item at home. No less cash as possible. More credit card that you can, unless you're traveling in place that there are no ATM or things, and your phone as close as you can, but normally always travel with earphones so it's connected. If someone tries to steal it, it's like my baby.
Okay, yeah. Good. So is there any final message you would like to tell to maybe travel beginners, people who are looking for comfort, who are a little bit scared to go first time or in general by themselves or something like that? Is there any push you would like to give them?
So what I want to say, like, I think most generally life is a fucking confused moment we all have to go through. I don't see any bigger meaning or bigger design for any of us, but each one of us is important to each one of us. I mean, I'm important to myself. Tina is important to Tina. So the best thing we can do for ourselves and to get the most of this weird thing that is life is try to please us, try to follow what we feel it's right, regardless if other people say it's weird, it's incorrect, it's not socially acceptable. I mean, if you want to walk in the street and you want to hug someone, do it. If you want to walk in the street and scream, do it. If you feel you want to give more love than what other people give, even though in return you don't get any love, do it. Give love. Make art. Be passionate. And I think in all this, at least in my life, there's a deep need of traveling and seeing other things. Maybe I'm not the traveler that see many places, but I deepen myself in the place, and I feel it under my skin. And regardless if other people tells me, what the fuck are you doing in Istanbul? What the fuck will you go to Morocco for? What the fuck? Why do you choose weird places? I don't care. I love it. I want to do this life. This is what I want to do. So people, go out and do what you want to do. Your life matters.
Yay! Thank you very much. That was it for today. Thank you, Chiara, for your time. If you enjoyed this interview and you would like to see more of our stuff, please subscribe to my channel. Click the like button, leave a comment or two, and share it with your friends if you've got female solo travelers who would benefit from this discussion, please make sure you share. Thank you.